friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you a look inside another unit from Gather Round Homeschool, and this time it is the mini Easter unit. Now the Easter unit has just been released over at Gather Round Homeschool, and I will pop a link in the description box down below so you can go and check it out for yourself. I have just purchased the PDF download of the curriculum, and I have printed it out myself and just popped it in a 2-ring binder that I purchased from Kmart. So enough of my chatting, let me give you a look inside this beautiful curriculum. All right, so let's have a closer look. As I said, I purchased a PDF download. Now you can purchase physical copies of this curriculum, but they're only shipped within Canada and the USA. So because I'm in Australia, the best way for me to do it is purchase a PDF download and just print it off myself. And I have just printed it off on my home computer on normal copy paper, and I've just put it in a 2-ring binder, but you can spiral bound them if you want. Now I have the teacher's guide printed in this file, and then I have also put the my children's notebooks in here as well. Just for filming purposes, their section will actually go into their own binder, but I've got it all in the one file so that I can show you. So once again, this is the Easter mini unit from Gather Round Homeschool, and I will give you a look at the teacher's guide, what the like how many lessons there are, what some of the lessons are about, and I'll give you a look at inside the student notebooks as well, so that you can get a good idea. So it just starts off with a letter from Rebecca Spooner. She is the author of Gather Round Homeschool. She has different people write the curriculum with her as well, but she's not the author, the creator, I should say. I love Gather Round for their beautiful illustrations, and everything is so lovely set out. So it starts out, we just have some reflection pages and some note sections for you to use, and then like list pages and shopping list pages as well, that's included. Okay, let's have a closer look here. All right, it has included a book and resource list at the beginning. Now these are optional extras. You don't have to read these books as a part of this curriculum, but these are some books that she's included if you would like to read. And there's just a little key here. So all the ones that are yellow are great for pre-readers. The purple are great for early readers. The blue's great for early elementary, and so on. So there's the list of some books that she recommends that you can read to go along with this curriculum. They've then broken down the supply list for you, which is really great. So if you want to go shopping for all the supplies, or make sure that you have them all at the beginning of starting the unit, they're broken down into lessons here. So you can look ahead and see all of the things that you might need and go and collect those. Now this is the scope and sequence for this mini unit. Now for me in my homeschool, I will add this mini unit into what we're already doing. So we are doing the Asia unit study from Gather Round Homeschool. So we'll continue to do that. And then I will add in this mini unit to what we're doing. And this will just take place of our Bible curriculum for what we're doing at the moment. So we're actually using more than words for Bible. So we'll just stop using that for the next 4 weeks, and we'll use this for our Bible curriculum instead. But it does have the scope and sequence here. These are all the Bible passages that they're going to be covering, and then there is and the biblical concepts. We have some history, language arts, art, lots of social studies with geography as well, so it's fantastic. Okay, here is the table of contents. Now, the mini unit is broken down into 10 lessons, and then there's some extra things at the end, some appendix with things that you might need. But it's broken down into 10 lessons, so we're going to start that now, and that'll take us right up to Easter, which is great. So, lesson 1, what is Easter? Lent, Spotless Lamb, Palm Sunday, Painting the Picture, Gethsemane, Condemned, the Crucifixion, the Resurrection, and then the last chapter is called What's Now? We have a recitation here, and now this page is included in all of the student notebooks as well. So if you don't know how Gather Round works, you have the teacher's guide, which I'm showing you now, which you read aloud to all of your children, and then each of your children will have their own notebook that they get to work in that's targeted at their age. So I have a specific notebook for pre-readers, one for readers, one they break it down to elementary and middle school, and for high school as well. So this is the teacher's guide, and we read aloud all of this information, and then once we've read aloud and done some discussion questions, then they go and work in their individual notebooks. Okay, so this is lesson 1. So lesson 1 is He is Risen. And as you can see, here is the read aloud portions. And they also stop for some discussion and activity time as a family as you're reading. For example, this one here, it's talking about what is Easter. And then it says here, family discussion. So you stop and you can have a chat with your children, and the question says, what are your favourite things about Easter? What are your favourite family traditions? What is your favourite Easter memory? Discuss this holiday and what it means to your family. And so you can write notes there if you want, or just have a family discussion. And then the lesson continues on. We're reading about Easter symbolism here. And then here is another activity break. This one says, because many of today's Easter traditions are not actually Christian, some people choose not to participate in them. What does your family celebrate and do around Easter? How can you be understanding to people who choose differently from you? So another little discussion break, and then back into reading aloud again. And the reading aloud continues, and then we get to the end of the lesson, and it says here student notebooks. And so then the children will go to their own notebooks and work on the activities that are in their age notebook. Now, some of the notebooking pages are the same across all of the books, and they will let you know. So for this one here, for the first lesson in the notebooks, they're going to be actually painting Easter eggs, and so they're all going to be doing that, and it just gives you a note here to say all of your children will be doing the same thing, and these are the instructions for that Easter egg activity. And so it gives you there's a little note to the teacher here, and it gives you the steps on how to paint the Easter eggs. And I'll quickly just show you. So that's the end of lesson 1, and then I'll show you in the children's notebooks. So this one is the pre-reader, and so for lesson 1, they have a colouring in that they can do while I'm reading aloud to them. And then this is the painting of the egg activity here. And so each child in their notebook has a similar page to this, just a little bit different. All of the lessons are set out in a similar way. So this is having a look at lesson 2. Each lesson starts off with a prayer up here. We have our read aloud sections, beautiful illustrations and photographs to have a look at. There's sections where we stop and get out our Bibles and read together what it says in the Bible about what we're talking about. There are activity breaks and discussions that are dotted throughout the read aloud section, where you can talk about your different traditions and what the Bible is talking about as well. And then it gets to the end and it says it's time to work in the student notebooks. Included at the end of the lesson is also any answer, like an answer key for any answers that the students might have for their workbook. So anytime that there's a question asked and there's an answer, they will have them in this answer section for you as well. So let me just give you a quick flip through of the rest of the lessons. lessons are beautifully written. I love the way that Rebecca Spooner writes. I really appreciate the language that she uses. It's just told in a really beautiful way, which is really great for family discussions as well. So I love the way that this curriculum is written. And in fact, everything that I have had from Rebecca, I have really, really enjoyed. Okay, so we get to, this is where we're up to. He is risen. At the end here, you will find different recipes and things for a Passover meal and preparation notes. And then it goes into the appendix with some extra information included in these things that you might like to read aloud. So this is, just turn this around for you. So you can see here, we've got the blessing and the read aloud portions for you to do as well if you would like to do that. Okay, so that is the end of the teacher's guide, and then I have printed out the notebooks for my students. So I have the pre-reader here, so I'll just give you a look at some of the activities just so you can get an idea of some of the things that they will be doing. So this is for my pre-reader Crew. He is 5. This is his workbook, and it has just a few activities for each lesson that we are doing. So he has colouring in pages, which are great. So he will sit and colour these in it, and I'll print one off for my daughter too. They will colour in while I'm doing the read aloud portions of the curriculum. And then we're doing Easter dyeing, and so there's some examples of the way that you can decorate eggs, and this is a activity here that we can work together to do. Then this is for lesson 2, another colouring in sheet, and this is an activity here. It says cut out the books in the appendix to show the Gospels. Can you glue them onto the bookshelf in the right order? And so in the appendix is the pictures. Let me just show you so you can have an idea. So there's an appendix section at the back here that has any cutouts that you need, and so here are the cutouts here. So cuts out these books that make up the Gospels, and then he's going to glue them on there. And so pretty much oh, and here's lesson another one for lesson 2. So there's usually a colouring in sheet and then just a couple of activities for the pre-reader. Okay, let me show you the next one that I've got printed out, which is for my daughter, Emily. She is going to be doing the early elementary one. So this is her little notebook. Okay, we just have the contents page, and we have the recitation passage. Each of them have this in their notebook. And then she has a colouring in page 2. This is for lesson 1. She has the similar page to what my son had for dyeing of the Easter egg activity, giving some examples. And then this same activity, we have a colouring in page. Now here, for this activity, hers is a little bit different. So from the pre-reader, they were cutting them out and arranging it. And for this age, they've got the books there and the word bank of the books' names here. And she needs to write them onto the books in the correct order. So that's a look at kind of how the different activities work. Same kind of activity. And then this is moving into lesson 3. This is here looking at the Passover meal and looking at the different things that were on the plate that we learnt about, and here are the words, and she needs to write them onto the lines. So a writing activity. Now, I don't know if I said this, but this is a mini unit. It's not a full unit. So I actually add this into what I'm already doing. So we're doing the Asia unit study from Gather Round Homeschool. And so I will continue to do the Asia unit study and then add this into our days. So this will just take the place of our Bible. So we're doing more than words for our Bible curriculum. So instead of doing that leading up to Easter, we'll actually do this mini unit. Okay, and then the other book that I have got printed out is the middle school book for my son, who is 12 and a half. This is what he's doing. So it starts off the same. He has his table of contents, his recitation passage, and then into the activities. So he doesn't have colouring in sheets. And this is that first Easter egg dyeing activity, and his is he can actually make a plan, so he can draw the eggs and do his design on there. So you can see how the activity is just slightly different for the different ages. And then this one is the Gospels again, so he'll need to write onto the books the correct order and needs to remember them because they're not written here for him. And then he just has some questions to answer. And the answers to these again are in the teacher's guide as well. So here's that Passover activity. My daughter had to label it, and he'll be doing the same, and then some questions to ask. So you can see that it's just a little bit, the activity is just a little bit more kind of difficult the older the children get. Okay, so there you go. There's a look inside the gorgeous mini Easter unit from Gather Round Homeschool. I hope you enjoyed my flip through today. I will leave all the links in the description box down below if you want to go check it out for yourself. And I have some other reviews of Gather Round curriculum, and I'll pop the links in the description box down below for you to have a look at too. Thank you so much for watching my video today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.